Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mr. and Mrs. Godfrey. And I have here my beautiful wife.
Hey y'all.
Her name is Erica Katrina Chinyerem. That's my mom's. My mom gave her that name, Chinyerem Godfrey. And today we are having an interesting conversation. Now, nobody should abuse Misha. I don't know anything about this thing we want to talk about. I don't have a clue of what the conversation is about, what it means and stuff, but I've been hearing it every time. I have not really studied it. I don't know whether it's an offense that I've not studied it, but I'm going to ask.
I feel like it's innate in everyone, and I'm pretty sure you guys already know what it is by now because of the title. But I specifically did not want to remind him of what the 5 love languages
you told
were.
me before one time.
I told you before, but I didn't want to remind him because I feel like the video would be much more fun. So, the 5 love languages, if you are not familiar, I forget who came up with the concept, but I believe that there is some truth to it. And the whole premise of the 5 love languages is that people both give and receive love. Some people may have one love language, some people may have multiple love languages. But usually if you take the test, there's actually an app that you can download. I think I sent him the app and he never actually did the test. But there's an app you can download where you answer a series of questions. It's kind of like an either or type questions scenario, and it will then give you a ranking of what your number 1 love language is, and I think it might give like percentages or something like that. I haven't done it in a few years, so that's something fun that we'll actually do. Maybe we should have done it before this video, but I feel like for the sake of this video, just for being fun, I remember what the love languages are.
Okay,
I'll share what they are, and
Yep.
then you tell me what you think mine are, and I'll tell you what I think yours are, and then I'll tell you what I feel mine actually are,
Okay,
and then vice versa.
Let's go through the 5.
So let's go through the 5.
So I can write them down.
Okay.
I don't remember anyone. I don't know anyone.
So the 5 love languages are...
I actually always call it 5 language of love.
Same difference.
The 5 language of love is
Languages
of love
are
the 5
the 5 languages
the
of
5
love
languages
are
of love are
physical touch.
Physical touch.
In no particular order am I sharing these. Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation. Mm-hmm.
Gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Service.
Mm-hmm.
And quality time.
Quality time.
So I feel like the beauty of the 5 love languages is that they're never going to be the same forever, and they're not the same for everyone. And just because you give love in a particular way does not mean you receive it in the same way. So starting out, baby, out of these 5 love languages, how do you want to do it? Do you want to tell me which ones you think are mine, or do you want me to go first and tell you which ones I think are yours?
Go first.
Okay.
We'll be one. We'll be switching. Or how is it done?
I don't know if that works.
Okay, go first.
So I'm one of those people who kind of likes them all, and I'm sorry, for the sake of it being fun, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna just give like my top 2.
Okay.
If that's possible, without having taken the test in a little while, based off of just our marriage and how things are going right now. I believe that my top 5 top 2 out of the 5 love languages is words of affirmation, and there's a tie for number 2. I told him not to do this, but I'm just gonna do it because I'm a little bad. The tie for number 2.
No, baby, you have to take one. Somehow one must be more than another.
But he's changed my life, guys. So before I was very much like a quality time person and acts of service. That was before. And since meeting my husband and since doing some healing and self-discovery, I realized, because at first I used to be like, oh, I don't really like words of affirmation. And I realized that was actually coming from a place of trauma, not really knowing how to receive accolades or love verbally. So I'm saying he changed my life, because if I have to say two, I would say my number one now is actually words of affirmation. And my number two is gifts. My husband has, I don't like to use the word spoiled. I feel like it has a negative connotation to it. But my husband, he just loves me. Well, he loves me in words and deed. And I feel like those are my top two in this season of my life. That's how I best receive love. Wait, was I supposed to be telling you yours?
No,
we all over the place.
I'm supposed to say mine now.
Okay, and then okay, yeah. Anyway, so that's how we started doing it. So that's just how we're going to continue. So those are my top two as far as how I receive love.
I'll still tell you, later. But let me just say
and how do you feel like you receive love if you had to only pick two? And would it help if I kind of gave a description for them, or are they self-explanatory?
No, I understand. Yeah.
Okay.
So my top two will be, yours you say is gifts and
words of affirmation is number one, and gifts is number three.
Number two.
I'm number two. Jesus, y'all, we have a 4-month-old. just grace.
So, I think for me, number one, I believe will be acts of service.
That's how you receive love best, because that's what we're talking about right now. How we receive love.
Yeah, you can tell me whether I'm wrong later.
Okay.
From the way we relate. That's what I think.
Okay.
Right now. And the next one that I think right now will be PT.
What? Oh, it's my mind. I have a sound mind in the name of Jesus. I was like, touch. It's not PT. It literally is. So, okay. So I actually, when I said I know what it is, I thought your second would have been words of affirmation. But
now let me tell you why. We have not really, I think it's good that we're exposing all these things publicly. We didn't plan this thing before. So normally I think I'm someone that's, so I don't know whether it's to you, to me, but I like always, but because when the first time we met and we had some issues, I think it left something inside of me that became very careful of ever holding, because I would always want to hold hands. I would always, even if I'm somewhere, I would like I'm always very touchy.
But you do that now.
I see that now?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I don't do that again. I can't remember doing that. Maybe I do that, I don't know.
Yeah, but you said physical touch, so you said right. So, okay, yours are acts of service and physical touch. I can see that. I was saying I feel like one of yours is words of affirmation, but rather it's how you give love. One of the ways you give love is definitely words of affirmation, definitely words of encouragement, whether it be, accolades or whether it be kind of like a message charging you forward. Like if you're not doing something particularly well, my husband has a way of using words to encourage you, out of that place. So I feel like you give love through words of affirmation, and you also give love through gifts.
Yes.
Acts of service. My husband's spoiled. Nigeria spoiled him. So, so when it comes to I'll say when it comes to manual labor, outside of baby.
Hold on, baby. Hold on.
Okay. Yes. Let me just.
I want to defend myself because you said Nigeria spoils me. No. She said it did. Now, for her, it is sport. For me, it is the normal life I lived in Nigeria.
Okay.
Where, if I have a house help, they call it house help. If I have a house help, I'm not getting spoiled. She has a responsibility where I'm paying her to do what she's doing. And because I'm busy with a lot of things, she takes care of that part of my life. Now, if I have got staff in the office that will always, if they want, I'm not one to say when I'm going to the office. Like most of the time, if I'm going to the office, I come down from the car, I'm carrying my bags. The security or somebody wants to take my bag. I really don't like it that much, but they want to do that by force. I hold my bag sometimes. I say, don't worry. I get to that place and that. I mean, if they because they know how my mind works, the guys that work with me, they always check on me to know that I'm okay. They're always hey, this, that. But when I came to America, for this brief moment that I'm spending in America before I come back to my Nigeria.
He gotta always let y'all know he comes back.
Now, everything was different because here I don't have anybody to help me out anything. I don't have the house help. I don't have my brother that normally will help me do some of the errands, maybe if I'm busy and stuff. I don't.
I'm not the house help in Jesus' name, but I help in the house.
Yeah, well, yeah. So no house help. My brother is not there. Pastor that normally will help me with a lot of things. Extreme is not here. Normally that will help me with a lot of things. Whether I'm in the office, all my staff that I have in the office, they're not there to do a lot of things. So it was call it hard reset, and sometimes I would demand.
You're taking accountability. That's a sign of maturity and growth.
Yeah, and then she calls it that I'm spoiled. How is that being spoiled, brothers and sisters?
Because he is. But okay. I say that because of all the reasons that he just named. Like in Nigeria, the fact that he was so busy with like ministering and writing songs and production, rehearsals, all those things, meetings, right? He's busy traveling. With those things. His day-to-day life things, he didn't even have to really worry about, like shopping for himself, putting together his attire for events, cooking for himself, sometimes driving for himself. Like his brother would,
I used to have a driver, in Nigeria. People have drivers. It's normal for people to have driver in Nigeria.
So now coming to America,
my Nigerian people here, it's not normal for people to have driver. If you have money to afford to have a driver,
that's not how it is in America. So because of that, my husband low-key expected me to drive him when we moved to Houston.
I said that is my love language.
I've been driving since I was 15. My love language is for how to drive. I've been driving since I was 15. One of the things I was looking forward to when getting married, of course, companionship, love, babies, sex, all that. I was looking forward to those things. But I was looking forward to not having to drive myself. But now that baby came along, look at God.
No, but before then,
I'm saying baby came along and me being pregnant too, because you did start driving a lot when I was pregnant.
I drove, except I'm not around. From that time to today, I've been the one driving.
100% of the time?
99.9%.
90%. Okay, so moving along. So because I want us to continue the conversation.
Okay, sorry.
So, how do you believe I give love? How do you feel like I give love to you?
I mean, let me go through all of them and think. I know quality time. You always, want for us to spend time together, and I'm getting used to it gradually. Yeah.
Gradually, what does it mean?
Like what I mean is that it's when you say, "Come to the room." So I'm saying, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah, he'll just be sitting on the living room.
I'm not sure. Married women here, let us know in the comment section. Is it true that your husband stays in the living room more and want to watch TV or news or stuff, and then or movie or whatever, and then you are wanting them to come to your room? So it's not a me thing. I think it's a all men thing.
And I understand that. Wanting to have your time, you have your time, but all day. All day.
Okay, well, quality time is one of the things that I know you share a lot, and I think to an extent, words of affirmation too, because you always want to, like, when it comes to work-related stuff, and you're always present. Like you want to hear, and most times you want to give your own opinion, and sometimes you want to just encourage me, especially actually that's one of the when I'm sort of feeling a bit overwhelmed, or the fact that of course I travel for event almost every weekend for stuff, but the fact that I don't go out every day to work as much as I used to work before, which is a good thing, but sometimes I feel like I want to, because I've worked all my life.
Yeah, he's still adjusting.
It's difficult to adjust.
Yeah.
So she just would encourage me. I mean, you know, life, like I always analyze, and I think this will help everybody, everyone listening and watching. I have this thing that I know that happens to everyone in life. You are in like most times you're either in the middle of a storm, or you're getting out of a storm, or you're getting into a storm. So when I find myself in lots of things, a storm, when I find myself experiencing lots of chaos here and there, she's always there to encourage me, just let me know that, you know what, you've got it, and we all go through that, and we always need that support to give that. So I think those two are one of the strongest for me. Okay. Physical touch, I experience this once in a while in the car. She just rubbed my hair and I'll start driving fast.
That's the only physical touch you remember? Because I was actually going to say, I feel like one of the top ways, this is exposing things, because the way I think I show you love and the way you actually receive love from me is different. Because I would have thought you would have said that my top two are physical touch and acts of service.
Oh wow.
You don't agree? Acts of service, who's your personal assistant in life?
What?
Whenever you want something done. What do you say, baby?
Oh yeah,
help me with,
okay.
Baby, can you?
No, so
baby, have
again,
you?
Again, I think.
Baby, will you? Baby.
I think I've said it here before. Every one of those things she does it. So for me, with the way I think about them, maybe I'm the one that's thinking it wrong. So it's the way we see some of these things. It's almost like it is sort of house responsibilities, like bills, paying bills, and all of those things. I just send money. I say, "Have you paid for this?" Or somebody calls me, "Do this." I say, "No, help me do this," and all of those things. So, but actually, it is service. I didn't think about it that way. Local man.
I do it. I'm his wife. I'm his wife, so I'm gonna do it. But I just expected him to say that, like literally. It's baby.
That's why. What she's. Baby, do this. Baby, do that. Baby, yeah. Baby, have you done this? Baby, they sent me this. Can you help me?
In the beginning of our relationship, it used to frustrate me a little bit because of how his mind works. He'll ask me to do something, and then like 5 minutes later, baby, have you done it? And my mind is like really quick. Like I used to be very reactive, and God is working on me with that to be more proactive on like managing my feelings. Because when he does that, I take it as him rushing me, him kind of lording over me. That's how I took it in the beginning, and I would be very defensive in my responses and reactions. And he was just like, no, it came back to my mind, and I'm just, so I believe that God is helping us to meet in the middle, because I still sometimes feel like you ask me, wait. Oh yeah, much better. But I still feel like sometimes when you ask me to do something, it's literally impossible for me to have done it already, especially if it's something that requires me to like go and do. And I've been sitting here with you for the last 5-10 minutes. It's like, no, I haven't done it.
So, because, okay, again, of course, we've discussed that over and over again. I am somebody that gets this. I want it to be done. So even though I just told her the thing now, and 2 minutes later, have you done that? It means it's probably coming as a reminder or coming as, but she just say, this just happened now.
Is he trying to be funny?
And I'm saying, why is she getting frustrated about that? But, well, okay. Yeah, I think, no, the truth is that, I don't know, this 5-star physical touch, word of affirmation, gifts, acts of love. Is it acts of love or acts of love?
Acts of service.
Acts of service, is it plus S, right?
Yeah.
And then quality time. All of these things, I think we possess all.
Oh yeah, all 5. Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult to start saying, because like really, the way I think about all of these things might be different from the way you see them. And like now, I understand that there's a lot you do for me as per act of services. Sometimes my act of service will be just food. And in my mind, that's what food like. Oh, Nanyuku. Nanyuku means my dear husband.
Oh yeah, I serve him.
Yeah, and all of those things.
That's love. That's a love language.
So But there's so much other ones that she does that I wouldn't pay attention to. But because she's actually mastered doing all of these things so well that I don't even remember that it just becomes normal. Like, okay,
and I think that's what it is. And it's good. This is good because us doing this video, I want you guys to like do your own, and discuss it with your partner, or even if you
She's crying.
Yeah. Even if you don't have a partner yet, just for your own information to know like what your love language is. But for those who are partnered up and married, or looking to be married, you and your partner should discuss your love languages, because now you're looking at us discuss ours, and you're seeing how one person can feel like they're giving love in one way, and the other person isn't really receiving it that way as love. They're just receiving it as, oh, this is part of our relationship. This is just what we do the whole time. That's one of the ways, I feel like I give love to him is I show up for him. I show up for him and our children. I make sure the house is taken care of. I make, some things might fall through the cracks here and there because it's a lot. But I feel like I do my best to show up and get what needs to be done, even with a 4-month-old who is now up during the day much more than she used to be. But yeah, by God's grace, we are making it.
So, what would you say is my own top? Like,
I feel like we already did this up too. We're a little confused, Charles.
My own is
just vibes. Just go with it.
So, gifts, good, word of affirmation. I think whoever wrote this thing, I did it already before the person started writing this thing.
You take credit for their work.
It's the person got the idea from me. Quality time, acts of service. Quality time. I don't think I'm very good at that.
No, because he gets wrapped up in work. Like, he'll get up, since a lot of his work is still in Nigeria.
Video, she had to come and get me out by force.
I said, the baby is asleep. You should probably do this now. But since he's still, like, a lot of his work is in Nigeria, staff is there. He wakes up at like 6 a.m., takes Brian to, actually before 6, because Brian needs to be at football camp by 6. So he wakes up before 6 o'clock. He'll get the baby. He'll have her for like 2.5 hours while I sleep. But in that time, he's having meetings, and he will be on the phone. I had to tell my husband once, sometimes I forget to tell him things or connect with him on certain things that have to do with the house, with the kids, or whatever, general things. Because when I go to talk to him about it, he's on the phone. And I'm like, okay, I'll tell him when he gets off the phone. And if you know my husband, if you've ever been around my husband, like casually, socially, not in a professional capacity, you know that he's on the phone a lot. So quality time is something that I'm encouraging him.
That I'm just on the phone gisting. It's not gisting.
No, he's doing meetings. But sometimes he's on both phones. He'll be talking to somebody, and somebody will call him on the other phone, and he'll tell the person who's on one phone to hold on, and then he'll talk to the other person for a few minutes, and then he'll resume the other call. And I'm like,
but let me say something. I'm not sure I've ever said this to you. I function well doing a lot of things. I like multitasking. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel like I'm going to live longer. Like, I like doing, I wanted to have 4 different meetings at the same time, and all 4 meetings will be different issues all together, and I want to be able to come into each of the meetings immediately and be able to address and function well, and just be able to, that whole way of doing different things just gives me joy. Like, I literally want to live in there and get in here, have this meeting, get in, come back, and I love it so much. So when I'm doing that, so that's why it was a struggle for me, that now I'm finding time to even rest. Before, I used to have this massive eye bag. I had like 4 eyes now, but now it's gone down. Maybe to rest, and my health is getting better. Like, it wasn't like it was bad before. I didn't know that I was damaging a lot with the kind of hard work I was doing. Had less than 4 hours sleep, but my wife has been able to help me change most of it. I mean, people said your wife would do that. I was saying, but
he knew.
But
that's where we differ, because I think I said to him once, like, I've heard someone say that multitasking does not exist. You're either doing one thing well, or you're doing a lot of things mediocrely.
That's not true.
And my husband has shown me that that's not true. But it's not a virtue for everyone. Like I myself, I do not necessarily like to multitask. Now, I used to do event coordination and event management, and I used to thrive in that place because it is fun. Like when, you know, it depends on the capacity or the situation. Yeah, you know, I could multitask if it's for work purposes, but in my personal life, in my home, you know, my day-to-day, I do not thrive there. I actually become instantly overwhelmed, and God is helping me with that. You know, like I said, the whole being reactive, and because I'm in a place of like peace and relaxing, you know, just trying to just find my groove in a lot of different ways. Now that I'm a new mom, you know, just becoming a new version of myself, and multitasking, it instantly like, I have to focus on one thing at a time. And then once I get that thing figured out and under control, then I can, you know, move on to something else. But me and my husband are working to meet each other in the middle, because like he thrives on it. And me, I get very frazzled, and, you know, and some of that, full disclosure, because, you know, we like to be open and honest. Some of that honestly was because after having my daughter, I wasn't having my quiet time with the Lord as much as I used to. Like just having me one-on-one time, like praying. I'm getting it so much now.
She's getting it so much.
Like, you know, praying, listening to worship music. I'll be cooking, just listening to the Bible, praying in tongues.
I give her enough. She just have it. Sometimes I go and tell the baby just.
I'm like, that's what I needed though. That's why I was becoming overwhelmed, because the things that I was doing them in my own strength, you know, and even though I'm still saved, still a Christian, I just wasn't operating to the full, you know, capacity that I could be with the help of the Holy Spirit. So
time runs so fast. It's like almost 30 minutes already. Now, let me just say this. My wife said that earlier, but let me give this as an assignment to everybody. If you're married here, sit down with your husband. I don't even care whether you guys have been married for 30 years or 40. That's what will make it even much more fun. If you have been married for 1 year or 30 years, sit down, try it, and let us know in the comment section. Say, let's discuss our language of love.
Love languages.
Five
languages of love.
5 love languages.
Remix it so he can take it for himself. How he said he came up with it.
5 languages of love. Now, sit down with them, discuss. You'll be shocked to find out that what you thought was what it was is not what it is, and just have fun with that. Some of these things are things you can do with your spouse, and then you guys can just have fun and enjoy yourself. So, we're going to wrap it up, but this is a quick one. Thank you so much. We love you.
Yes, this was
Let us know in the comment section what you think and all of those things, and please share.
Like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. So thank you guys for joining us for another video. We're taking you guys small, you know, through our meeting and our relationship.
Small is in Nigeria accent.
We're taking you guys through our relationship. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and share. Because other people can be blessed by this content as well.
That's my wife.